Did you get my text, by the way?
Which one?
About how many? Never mind. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look.
10.
Yeah.
10.
10. I went from 3 pages to 10 pages today.
Damn. Hell no.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, Phobos, sisters, brothers, and others. I'm Jynx.
I'm clueless.
And this is Sisters of the Macabre. I fell down a rabbit hole again.
One of many.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Today, I wanted to do something that I've never heard anybody talk about. In fact, when I talk about it to people, they don't know that, first of all, that there are 2 of them. Second of all, that they are 2 separate beings. So we're going to talk about Sphinxes today. But here's the thing. Greek and Egyptian Sphinxes are very different creatures. And they symbolize very different things, even though they share a name. I thought it would make for, an interesting episode to kind of compare and contrast them, but they're also not the only Sphinxes in the world.
Yeah, aren't they also naked cats too?
Yes, there are Sphinx cats, but I didn't talk about them. No, there's like 9.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, I mean, technically I have like 11. But we'll talk about it. Yeah, they're not the only Sphinxes in the world, so we're going to talk about pretty much every kind of Sphinx I could find. We're going to do a deep dive into what these creatures represent all around the world and kind of compare and contrast them. Strap in. I have a lot of information. Again. I literally texted Snacks and told her that I researched a little too close to the sun. She was like, a crumb of context, and I'm like, well. To be fair, the reason that this is so long is because I hyper focused and I was interested, so it's gonna be good. It's just also gonna be an info dump, which sorry, not sorry. Yeah, strap in, kitty winks, here we go. The Greek Sphinx is known as the throat with wings. The body is a lioness torso and claws, feathered wings of a raptor, usually an eagle, a female human head, and sometimes they have a serpent tail, cat-like breasts, and talons instead of paws. She is built from predators of the 3 realms, land being lion, air being bird, and mind and speech being woman. Every Greek Sphinx was a woman. Ancient texts emphasize that her voice was honeyed, musical, and hypnotic. Her real weapon is not her claws. It's language itself. Her parentage is Typhon, being her father, who is a storm giant of chaos, and the mother was Echidna, half woman, half serpent. The Sphinx has the same bloodline as Cerberus, the Hydra, and the Chimera, which, let's be honest, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is a part of a family whose purpose is to unmake human order. She was sent to Thebes because they committed an offense against the gods. Now, there are several different versions of this, but either Hera or Ares dispatches the Sphinx as divine punishment. She perched on Mount... I'm going to butcher so much of what's in here, by the way, because it's all in different languages, so I'm going to butcher it all. I'm sorry ahead of time. Please don't kill me.
Are unfortunately very American.
Yeah. And I did not have time to learn how to say every single one of these. But she perched on Mount Phaesium and turned the road into a slaughterhouse.
Ooh.
When I said her weapon was language, I meant it. You see, before she slaughtered anyone, she would ask them a riddle as a ritual of death, so to speak. Her question was, quote, what has one voice and walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and 3 in the evening, unquote. What do you think?
Everybody, or at least I know this. I've heard it many, many, many a times.
Okay, so what is it?
Man.
There you go. Now, if you answered wrong, causes of death were, strangulation or devouring. And sometimes the bodies were left as a civic trauma, basically meaning that they were left on the road to say, fuck around and find out. The riddle was never a game. It was a sacrificial mechanism used as divine punishment. The interesting thing is that the answer to her riddle reveals her function. The answer is a human or man. She forces people to confront the shape of mortality. So basically one voice, because we only speak in one voice, that's all we have.
Mm.
We walk on 4 legs in the morning. Basically, as a child, we can't walk yet, we crawl.
Yep.
2 legs at noon as we grow and become, toddlers and, teenagers and adulthood. We end up walking on 2 legs, and then we walk on 3 legs when we are older and we have a cane of some sort. Yeah. So that's the answer explained in case somebody didn't know. She is the mouth that speaks time. Now, the Greek Sphinx was made to represent quite a few things, one of which being a perverted muse of sorts. The female voice equaling knowledge, but knowledge divorced from mercy, so wisdom turned carnivore. That's where the perversion comes from. She also symbolizes civilization's shadow. She lives at the city gate outside of law, yet controlling entry to law, and is quite literally a checkpoint made of terror.
Yeah.
There was also a kind of underhanded sexual and gendered fear because she was coded as dangerously feminine. She's known to devour her mother Echidna. So, yikes. And she has intellect that unmakes man. So, of course, Oedipus defeating her was very symbolic, meaning masculine reason conquering chaotic female mystery, which is very misogynistic, but what can you do?
We don't like it, but
Right.
we're not the authors of this story.
No, unfortunately, history is. When Oedipus answers correctly, she screams and throws herself off a cliff, or in some versions, she actually quite literally explodes.
Damn, okay.
Knowledge kills the questioner, or in her case, the question itself. Think of the Greek Sphinx as a death-bringing gatekeeper.
Yeah.
The Egyptian Sphinx is almost on the opposite side of the spectrum altogether. Now, it does have a relatively similar appearance. It has the body of a lion, but it has the head of a man, usually. I have seen that there have been a few females, but it's mostly males. Often a pharaoh. This sphinx has no wings, and usually tends to be personified in a calm and regal posture. Known as the living image of power, the sphinx is not a monster, it's a theological body made of symbols. The body is always of a crouching lion, muscular and perfectly still. The head, as I said, was almost always male. The face idealized features of a pharaoh. Its posture always had its front paws extended, meaning eternal vigilance. Also, it often wore the Nemes headdress or striped royal cloth. It may bear the uraeus, or the rearing cobra of divine authority, and it usually wears a false braided beard symbolizing divine masculinity. Occasionally, it would have solar disk imagery. They were carved directly from bedrock or colossal limestone blocks that were meant to feel like a being that had always been there, not sculpted, but awakened. The body of the lion represented the most powerful earthly creature. The human head represented divine intelligence. Together, the perfect rulership incarnate. The Egyptian Sphinx is a protector and sacred guardian. They represent royal power, divine authority, and solar energy. They are seen as guardians of temples, tombs, and sacred places, and are often associated with the sun god Ra and the living pharaoh as god on earth. The Great Sphinx of Giza is the most famous example, believed to bear the face of Pharaoh, I'm gonna fuck this up, Khafre? Khafra? I don't know. I mean no offense when I fuck these words up, I'm just gonna fuck them up. Their personality was more benevolent or neutral. They were a silent watcher, not a monster. A symbol of stability, eternity, and kingship, almost as if a holy sentinel. There's no birth myth for the Egyptian Sphinx like there is for the Greek. It's more an idea merging from the state religion and royal ideology. Originally, it was linked to the sun god Ra, and was also later linked to Horus. The pharaoh was believed to be the living Horus on Earth. This sphinx later became a stone formula for, quote, the king as eternal guardian of cosmic order, unquote, or Ma'at, which is basically saying God on Earth once again. Later Egyptian texts do tell of a semi-mythic story, which I found interesting, but it's later texts, so I'm like, Prince... I have no idea how to say that. Tutmos? Thutmose? No clue how to say it. The fourth fell asleep behind the buried Sphinx of Giza. It spoke to him as Horemaket, or Horus of the Horizon, promising that he would become pharaoh if he cleared the sand from his body. This is crucial because the Egyptian Sphinx doesn't test you. It chooses and legitimizes you. The Egyptian Sphinx symbolizes cosmic order, or Ma'at, so that would be the balance between chaos and harmony. The pharaoh as the hinge keeping the universe stable. And the Sphinx is known as the body of that promise. It also symbolized solar resurrection. It always faces east towards the rising sun, and dies every night with Ra, and is reborn at dawn, which for those of you that don't know, this does happen to Ra every night when the sun goes down. He does as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Ra gets murdered literally every night. Even with Sekhmet protecting him. Yeah, he dies every night and gets reincarnated every morning. Yeah, but you know what? That's... I'll do a full episode on him later, but this Sphinx is also a guardian of tombs because death is equivalent to sunrise in another form. The Sphinx stands between desert and civilization, living and dead, human and divine. It stands on a threshold of power, but it is not hostile at said threshold. It is a gate that blesses passage. They are the protectors of the necropolis, witnesses of oaths, embodiment of silent judgment. But they are not a character who acts. They are a presence that authorizes reality. People say that there is a horror in it. It's not the violence, it's eternity. Watching you breathe. I find the duality of these so interesting because realistically, these are quite literally opposites on a spectrum. One is always female, the Greek, whereas the Egyptian is always male, usually. The Greek Sphinx has wings, the Egyptian does not. The Greek is a monster and executioner, while the Egyptian Sphinx is a guardian and a protector. The Greek is always active and violent, while the Egyptian is passive and silent. Face you're making, I'm sorry. That's the face you're making.
I can't see shit! I'm cleaning my glasses. There was speck all over it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It was cute. I'm sorry. I
feel like a mouse. It's just...
You remind me of an old Korean grandma. Just making that face.
Boy.
Ajma!
I resent that. Not in the... I resent that in the way that my family was given a discount because I looked Korean enough. Or I looked Asian enough, and it's like, oh, obviously they're taking care of their friend's daughter, and so we got a discount. And then my mom was like, shut the fuck up, and I'm like, what? Why? Just keep smiling. What? Why? Because you look Asian and we're getting a discount. You motherfucker. You motherfuckers.
In Greece, they're dark and terrifying. In Egypt, they're sacred and noble. And even their symbolism is a direct contrast. In Greek, they are death riddles and chaos, where in Egyptian, they are divine kingship and order. I mean, if you look at it, the Greek Sphinx is the mouth of chaos. She speaks constantly, destroys citizens, and destabilizes identity, where the Egyptian is the body of order. He rarely speaks, confirms kings, and stabilizes the universe and elicits fear through awe. One says, prove you deserve to keep breathing, and the other says, I guard the path to eternity. To be honest, this is where I was going to stop. It was going to be a shorter episode. I only had like 4 pages, which is not a lot for me nowadays. Usually I'm 7+. But something that occurred to me is I was sure that these were not the only sphinxes to exist. If they are both in Greece and Egypt, playing as a total duality of each other without ever actually interacting with each other, where else are they? Are they called sphinxes elsewhere? What do they look like? What were their personalities? I had a lot of questions, so I got a lot of answers.
You needed them fucking answers.
I did. Okay, I have 10 pages. How long do you think I spent on this research?
The entire fucking night.
No.
The entire fucking night. You did not stop until you accidentally saw that you stayed up the entire night and dawn was breaking.
No. You want the truth?
Yes.
I started this research at 8:30 this morning and I finished it at 11. It took me less than 3 hours to ascertain all of this research in a hyperfocus.
Coup dat.
So we are going to move on. In Mesopotamia, specifically Assyria and Babylon, they have the Lamassu, I'm not sure how to say it, and the Shidu. Their form is the body of a lion or bull, massive eagle wings. The face is of a bearded male human with a horned crown of divinity, so very Egyptian Sphinx-like. But they also have the eagle wings, so very Greek-like. And it's carved with 5 legs. So from the front, it looks to be standing still. But from the side, it looks to be walking forward as a creature eternally in 2 states at once. A body at rest and a body in motion. Newton would lose his head.
Wait a minute. Isn't there a substance called the Newtonian substance where like the more pressure you put on it, the more solid it is, but the less pressure you put on it, then the more liquid it is? Or something like that?
Yeah, it's oobleck.
Isn't that the shape?
No.
Okay, I don't know what it's called. I just know that like there's a substance called like Newton's element or something like that. But there's also a shape, I can't remember what the shape was called, but basically it is the only shape in the world that has one side.
I don't know. The body of the bull or the lion symbolized raw terrestrial power, while the wings of the eagle symbolized heavens and storm. The human face symbolized reason, and the crown symbolized divine sanction. They are quite literally a political theology with claws. They were not born from a single myth, so again, much like the Egyptian, but from the idea of the Apkallu, which were primeval sages who taught humanity civilization after the flood. Over centuries, these protective spirits fused with royal art to become palace guardians. Kings claimed they were placed by the gods at the moment the city was founded, older than destiny itself, and that they were, quote, breathing statues, unquote, and that they could hear oaths. They were stood at the gates of, I'm going to butcher these, Nineveh, Nimrud, and Khorsabad. They were known to repel demons of sickness and the evil eye, as well as being witnesses to treaties, and breaking an oath before them invited supernatural vengeance. Persia also had their own type of sphinx. They had royal sphinxes and the Hama. They took the form of a winged lion body, human or sometimes bird head, and were often paired flanking thrones at Persepolis and Susa. Again, I'm going to butcher every fucking word in here that isn't English. Persian thought centered on Far or Kvarena. I don't know, I'm sorry. Which was the radiant fortune telling that makes the king legitimate. Sphinx-like creatures were believed to carry this glory, recognizing the rightful ruler and abandoning tyrants. The Hama bird is cousin to the Sphinx, was said to make a man king simply by letting his shadow fall on him. They functioned as architectural guardians of the Achaemenid palaces, emblems on seals and standards, and were linked to Mithra and solar justice. So again, this is very akin to the Egyptian Sphinx. They symbolize cosmic kingship, truth versus the lie, also known as the Zoroastrian dualism, and the idea that power must be recognized by more than human witnesses. Moving into India, where we have the Purushamriga, I don't know, or the Naravyala. I'm so sorry. I'm butchering everything. I'm trying, but I don't know, man. Don't shame me. Don't you shame me. I'm trying. I mean, no disrespect. I'm just real bad at it.
It's okay. I'm no better than you.
I'm gonna go cry in a corner. This episode's over.
Boy, nobody puts baby in the corner.
Well, yeah. Sorry. I don't know.
Me neither. You're the one telling the story.
I still can't even say it right. Now, I've seen both mentioned, so I kind of wanted to go into whether they were separate beings or not. The short answer, usually they refer to the same class of being, but are treated as two related yet distinct forms. In their linguistic roots, Purusha means human, and Mriga means beast or animal, so the name being human beast is a literal translation. The Naravila, or Naravila, or I'm not sure how to say it, is similar. Nara meaning man and Vyala meaning leonine monster or fierce hybrid. So the name again translates to man-lion creature. Etymologically, they point to the same concept, the lion-bodied guardian with a human aspect. Again, their names were interchangeable. They both describe a lion body, a human male face, sometimes wings, and they both function as door guardians, pillar motifs, and protectors of the sanctum. Art historians even often wrote that they were the same thing, or the same being, with interchangeable names. For example, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and even early Kola and Panja sites. Where they became distinct was in some Agamic and Shilpa Shastra traditions. I think I said that close to right. The Parasha, I'm shortening them now just because I can't do with these names. I'm just really bad. But the Parasha was known more as the sacred form with calm, upright posture, a human face showing clear dominance, and it was linked to Narasimha theology, or Narasimha theology, and represented controlled power, dharma, and the yogi mastering the inner lion. For those of you that don't know, a yogi is a person who practices yoga as a spiritual discipline, not just as exercise. It's somebody devoted to transforming the mind, body, and spirit in order to reach liberation, insight, or union within the divine.
So not like Yogi Bear?
No, he's not stealing. They're not stealing picnic baskets. Oh, sorry. Anyway, but back to Sphinxes. The Nara was known as the fiercer form. It had a more bestial face, emphasized fangs and claws, and sometimes was shown attacking elephants. It was closer to an apotropaic demon scarer, raw protective violence, and was known as the cousin of the Yali. So the first one would be more of a priestly sphinx, while the second was more of a warrior sphinx. The relationship to Yali is kind of where things get muddled, from what I can tell. Yali is also a leonine, but it's also draconic. It's known as a temple monster. The Nara is sometimes considered a subtype of the Yali with a human head. The Purusha usually stands outside the Yali category. In a stricter South Indian taxonomy, there are specific differences. Take the head of the Purusha. It was human. For the Nara, it was semi-human. And for the Yali, it was just bestial or draconic. In the same right, their temperament was different. For the Purusha, it was serene. The Nora was fierce and the Yali was ferocious. Their roles also were very different. The Purusha was a sacred guardian, whereas the Nara was apotropaic, basically meaning that it had the power to avert the evil eye and evil influences or bad luck, which we already talked about. And the Yali was an architectural terror. The Purusha symbolizes intellect, writing instinct, Narashima's mercy after rage, the initiated king, and a temple symbolizing tamed wilderness. As we know, the Purusha is the calm one, meaning the tamed wilderness. That's where that came from. The Nara symbolized unchained divine wrath, the boundary between village and jungle, and the warning before the holy. From what I can tell, they are two separate beings, but their names were interchanged quite often. They are two names for one Sphinx-like tradition with regional artistic distinctions. Put more clearly, the Purusha is theological, refined, and aligned with Narashima. I had no idea who Narashima was, and I'm sure I'm butchering the name, and I'm so sorry, but he is a Hindu god. He is known as the man-lion avatar of Vishnu. Born from a loophole in reality itself, he is known as a moment when the universe bends its own rules to destroy a tyrant. Which, knowing that now, I really want to do an episode on him, but that's for a later date. Narashima is divine wrath in service of justice and is a being of the idea that evil cannot escape cosmic law. There is so much more information than that, but again, this is not his episode. No offense to him, it'll come later. The Nara is fiercer and closer to Yali lineage, which we already talked about. I keep going down these rabbit holes, man. It just keeps happening because you think this is long. I'm on page 7 now, but I have more.
But wait, there's more!
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like that guy. It's just like, but wait, there's more. Because there is. Let's jump right into Thailand and Cambodia. We're going to talk about, I'm going to fuck this up, Thep Norising. Its form is much like the others. It's got a lion torso, human face of a serene Khmer smile. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's just another way of saying a gentle or enigmatic facial expression. It has a naga-like tail or feathered wings, and is often wearing jewelry identical to Apsara dancers. Apsara dancers are performers of a classical Cambodian dance form inspired by celestial nymphs in Hindu and Buddhist mythology. The dancers wear elaborate, gilded, and intricately designed golden jewelry molded after Angkor bas reliefs. So basically, golden jewelry in a form of regalia in layman's terms. Now, their mythic roots kind of tend to blend 3 streams into one.
Don't cross the streams!
Yeah, no, they did in this one. They did in this one. One we just talked about, the Purusha. Another being the Khmer ancestor spirits. And the last being Buddhist guardian devas. Legends say they patrol the invisible roads between Mount Meru and human cities. Their function was to protect temples from wandering, I think it's Fi ghosts, escort souls of virtuous dead, and they even appeared in royal coronations as symbols of compassionate strength. They symbolize mercy joined with ferocity and the harmony of Hindu and Buddhist cosmology. I'm actually going through this pretty quickly. I'm astounded at myself. China actually has 3 separate beasts that coincide with the Sphinx in some way, shape, or form. So I had to do all of them. Yeah.
Why do they have 3? Tell me about them. I want to know.
I promise I will. I'm gonna get into all three of them.
I will go Mark Anthony on your ass.
Don't worry, I will give you all the information. I'll talk. I'm not pleading the fifth.
Better not.
No, not in this one, and not in this time anyway. So take the Shiji, or the Truth Beast. It's not necessarily in a classic Sphinx shape, but it is identical in function. The form is a lion-like body, it has a single horn, and it has a fiercely intelligent, almost human gaze. The sage king Shun supposedly used one to judge court cases. It would bow to the innocent and gore the guilty. It was an emblem of imperial law courts. Yeah, no, it was intense. Images were placed on judges' robes, and it was known as a living lie detector of myth. It symbolized moral discernment and a physical force, heaven enforcing justice directly, and the belief that ethics have teeth. But there was also the Pishio and the Qilin. Again, we face the question, are these the same being? No, they are not. Sometimes they get lumped together because both are auspicious hybrids, placed near tombs and temples, but their personalities, jobs, and symbolism were very distinct. The Pishu was known as the devourer of wealth, usually took the form of a lion body and a dragon head. It had wings, had 1 or 2 horns on their head, and you're gonna laugh at this. It had no anus, and that actually matters mythologically. That's why I put it in there. I'll tell you about it. Now, there are 2 types of this creature. The Qianlu attracts wealth, and the Bixi repels evil spirits. Mind you, this creature is not gentle. It is fierce, territorial, and obsessed with gold and treasure. Because it, quote, has no exit, end quote, it is believed to swallow wealth and never let it escape. It was a magnet for money and business, fortune, a protector against demons and bad luck, a guardian of tombs, so grave goods were not stolen. Feng Shui today still treats them like a supernatural security system for prosperity. In their origins, one legend says that it offended the Jade Emperor, and as punishment, its digestive exit, or anus, was sealed, so it could only consume and never release. It became the perfect creature for hoarding fortune for humans. Its symbolism was accumulation, military power, aggressive protection, and loyal but dangerous, like a guard dog of heaven, so to speak. So very similar to Sphinxes, they did look Sphinx-like in certain ways, and it was a protector, much like most of the other Sphinxes we've talked about. The Qilin, on the other hand, is known as the gentle herald of virtue. Now, this one does not look like a Sphinx at all. It's more elegant and deer-like. It has the body of a stag or horse, scales of a dragon, tail of an ox, and sometimes the hooves are surrounded by fire, which, okay, pop off.
That sounds beautiful.
Right? Oh, I think, yeah, no, these are like really elegant creatures. But it's often shown walking without crushing grass. It is compassion incarnate. It refuses to step on living creatures, hence why its walking doesn't crush grass, because grass is living. It only appears during the reign of a just ruler and vanishes when corruption rises. It's closer to an angel than a monster. One supposedly appeared to Confucius's mother, carrying a jade tablet predicting the birth of the sage. Seeing one meant a great ruler was coming, and the era of peace was beginning, and that heaven approved the dynasty. It symbolized benevolent government, moral perfection, scholarly wisdom, and harmony between humans and nature. While this creature did not look like a sphinx, it still in some ways acted like one, and that's why it was added here. Could I have done without it? Probably. But I was too far deep in the hole, man. Besides, I feel like they count because they occupy the same narrative slot. They are technically a threshold judge. They are a hybrid of noble beasts and a companion of righteous rulers. Also, Western writers actually did call both of these Chinese sphinxes. So,
I've heard of Kirin, Kirin, and I was heard they're called Chinese unicorns.
Hmm.
Might not be the same, but it's just like there's always like
Yeah.
threads that kind of connect them, whether
Yeah.
forced or coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, as humans, we try to make connections, basically, because we need something to make sense in our heads. So, I mean,
And we have ADHD, so we like to find patterns.
yeah. Case in point, 11 fucking sphinxes. Anyway. Yeah, no, like Western writers did call both of these Chinese sphinxes. They're both hybrids, they both stand near tombs and temples, and honestly, later art did actually mix their features. Not that that really matters, but there it is. So, there's all three of your Chinese ones. We're on page 9 now, and I still have 2 more things that I researched that I have to get through. But at least, I'm invested in the episode, so I hope it's a good amount of information at this point. It's probably too much, but I can't stop. Anyway, let's move on. In Nubia and Kush, there is a ram-headed sphinx. It has a lion body and the head of a ram, which symbolizes the god Amun, and sometimes are in rows of dozens, forming processional avenues. I realize people might not know, because I didn't know, but Amun is known as the Hidden One. He begins as a quiet local spirit and rose to become the most powerful god in Egypt, a deity so immersed that people believed even other gods could not fully see his true form. Which, again, would love to do an episode on him. This is not his episode. I'm sorry, man. We're moving on. I'm gonna butcher this. I don't know if it's Kushite or Kushite religion centered Amun more strongly than Egypt did. The Sphinx became not the king's image, but the god walking as a lion. It led pilgrims to temples at Napata and Meroe, represented the pharaoh literally carried by Amun, and were guardians of desert trade routes. They symbolized divine rather than royal power, fertility and generative force, and also placed the Nile as a cosmic spine guarded by lions. All right, moving into medieval Europe, we have the alchemical sphinx. Its form was kind of a mix of Greek and Egyptian traits. It was often winged, crowned, and female-faced, and appeared in bestiologies and cathedral grotesques. Christian writers reinterpreted her as a riddle of the soul, dangerous pagan wisdom, and sometimes a figure of the Virgin's mysterious knowledge.
Why the fuck does it always gotta be pagan?
Because it's Christians. This one's about Christians. So, yeah.
No, I mean, like, why is it that everything that's other is, like, pagan?
Because that's what Christians label it as.
But why?
Because...
Is that just another word for other?
Okay, we're getting into this. The reason that every other religion is basically called paganism to Christians and Catholics and all that is because they believe that their God is the one true God. So everything else would be pagan belief. Everything else would be incorrect lies, and that's where they put pagan belief into. So polytheism or any other gods would be considered pagan to those churches. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sucks, but it is what it is. There's more to it than that, but that's like the basis of it. They basically use pagan as just a wide blanket statement. Anyway, they made her a moral emblem rather than a deity, warned against prideful curiosity, and also was a gatekeeper of esoteric learning. Across all traditions, the Sphinx idea performs the same cosmic job. They're a judge at the threshold, be it a gate, a tomb, a temple, or a court of law. They are a composite authority. The lion is sovereign. The bird is heaven. The human is intellect. And the horns and the ram and everything else were divinity. Those beings decided who was legitimate, who may pass, who is lying, and who deserves kingship in moral technology. Only Greece turned the formula towards tragic horror. I find it incredibly interesting that there were 9 specific examples of Sphinx-like creatures. Actually, not 9, 11, because China had 3. You have the Greek who punishes humanity for its wrongdoings against divinity, the Egyptian who watches over the pharaoh and royal family, guarding them in this life and leading them to the next, the Assyrian who watches oaths, the Persian who crowns kings, the Indian who disciplines the soul, the Khmer who guides the ghosts, the Chinese beast who judges criminals, the Nubian who walks as a god, and the medieval one who guards forbidden books. I know that last one was really short. I'm sorry, but we're literally almost 11 pages in right now. I think I should stop. So, sorry for talking your ear off again. I got stuck in research and then it just fucking goes and goes and goes. And that's all for me and the Sphinx.
You need to stop apologizing.
I've apologized so much. I just like.
You know, if you want her to stop apologizing, send her a high five and we'll take it as a V8. Take it as a forehead bap.
Could have had a V8.
No, stop it. Bap. No, stop it. Bap. Palm to the forehead.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Gently.
Yeah, I mean, fair. I hope you guys learned something, or at least were entertained by my info dumping. If you want to find us on Facebook, the SOTM podcast page, Instagram, we are SOTM podcast 1, and Gmail, we are Sisters of the Macabre podcast at gmail.com. Is there anything you wanted to add? Okay, we love you. Bye.
Have a good one. Goodbye.
Goodbye.